For over a year, Iran has played a dangerous game in the Middle East. Through its proxy forces in Yemen, the Houthi rebels, Tehran has wreaked havoc on international shipping in the Red Sea while maintaining plausible deniability about its direct involvement. But that strategic advantage may be about to disappear in the thunderous roar of American stealth bombers. The United States has drawn a line in the sand. Satellite imagery and military tracking data reveal an alarming development. Multiple B-2 Spirit stealth bombers are being deployed to the remote island of Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. This isn't just another routine military exercise. The positioning of America's most advanced strategic bombers within striking distance of Iran represents a dramatic escalation in the ongoing confrontation between Washington and Tehran. President Trump's recent statements leave little room for interpretation. Every shot fired by the Houthis will be looked upon as being a shot fired from the weapons and leadership of Iran, he declared on social media. The message couldn't be clearer. The era of Iran hiding behind its proxies is over. When the Houthis attack international shipping with Iranian-supplied missiles and drones, Washington will hold Tehran directly accountable. The strategic implications of the B-2 deployment are profound. These $1.157 billion flying wings represent the pinnacle of American air power, capable of penetrating the most sophisticated air defenses undetected and delivering both conventional and nuclear payloads with pinpoint accuracy. Each B-2 can carry up to 40,000 pounds of ordnance, including the massive 30,000-pound GBU-57A-B massive ordnance penetrator designed to destroy hardened underground facilities. Exactly the kind where Iran allegedly develops its missile technology and potentially shelters its nuclear program. Diego Garcia's location makes it the perfect staging ground for operations against Iran. Situated approximately 2,000 miles from the Iranian coast, the island provides the U.S. with an unsinkable aircraft carrier far beyond the range of most of Iran's missile systems. The atoll's naval support facility features one of the longest runways in the world at over 12,000 feet, more than enough to handle the B-2's operational requirements. Recent satellite photos show increased activity at the base, including the arrival of KC-135 Stratotanker aerial refueling aircraft that will extend the bomber's already impressive 6,000 nautical mile unrefueled range. The deployment comes amid escalating tensions in the Red Sea. Since mid-March, Houthi forces have intensified their attacks on commercial shipping, launching missiles and drones at container vessels and oil tankers transiting this critical waterway. The U.S. response has been swift and punishing. Daily airstrikes against Houthi positions in Yemen that have reportedly killed dozens of militants, including senior commanders. But the message these B-2 deployments send is that Washington is prepared to take the fight directly to Iran if necessary. Military analysts note several disturbing parallels to previous crisis moments. In early 2020, following the U.S. drone strike that killed Iranian Quds Force commander Qasem Soleimani, the Pentagon rushed B-52 Stratofortress bombers to Diego Garcia as a deterrent against Iranian retaliation. The current deployment is even more significant because the B-2 represents a quantum leap in capability over the older B-52. With its stealth characteristics and precision strike ability, the Spirit bomber gives the U.S. options ranging from surgical strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities to devastating attacks on Revolutionary Guard bases. Iran's military finds itself in an impossible position. The country's air defense network, built around Russian-made S-300 systems, was never designed to detect and track low observable aircraft like the B-2. Even if Iranian radars could spot the incoming bombers, Tehran lacks the interceptor aircraft or missile systems capable of reliably engaging them. The imbalance is so severe that some analysts describe it as like bringing a knife to a gunfight, except the other side is invisible. The economic dimension of this crisis cannot be overstated. The Red Sea handles about 12% of global trade, with nearly 50 ships transiting the Bab el-Mandeb Strait daily. Insurance costs for vessels operating in the region have skyrocketed, while many shipping companies have rerouted their vessels around Africa's Cape of Good Hope, adding 10-14 days to transit times and millions in additional costs. This disruption comes at a delicate moment for the global economy, with inflationary pressures already weighing on post-pandemic recovery efforts. Behind the military posturing lies a crucial diplomatic deadline. Sources indicate that President Trump has given Iran's leadership until early May to return to negotiations over its nuclear program. The letter reportedly warns that refusal to engage will be met with terrible consequences, a threat given teeth by the B-2 deployment. This 2-month window suggests we may know by summer whether this crisis will be resolved at the negotiating table or on the battlefield. Historical context sheds light on why the B-2 deployment is so significant. During Operation Allied Force in 1999, a single B-2 flew non-stop from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri to Kosovo, a 30-hour round trip, to deliver precision strikes against Serbian targets. In the opening hours of Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003, B-2s struck key command centers in Baghdad while evading Iraq's extensive air defenses. These operations demonstrated the aircraft's ability to project overwhelming power across global distances, exactly the capability now being positioned against Iran. The human element of this deployment shouldn't be overlooked. Each B-2 requires a crew of 2 pilots who must endure grueling missions that can last over 24 hours. The physical and mental toll of these operations is immense, with crews relying on stimulants to maintain alertness and sometimes needing assistance to exit the aircraft after landing. That the U.S. is willing to subject its most elite bomber crews to this strain speaks volumes about the seriousness with which Washington views the Iranian threat. As the situation develops, several key questions remain unanswered. Will Iran interpret the B-2 deployment as a genuine threat to its sovereignty, or dismiss it as psychological warfare? Can Tehran afford to back down without losing face domestically and among its regional proxies? Perhaps most importantly, if pushed to the brink, might elements within Iran's hardline leadership see escalation as their only option? The coming weeks will test whether decades of Iranian proxy warfare strategy has finally met its match in American air power. One thing is certain. With B-2 spirits now within striking distance of Iran, the stakes in this confrontation have never been higher. The world watches nervously to see whether this deployment will force Tehran to change course, or whether the Middle East is headed for another devastating conflict. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.